Hey guys, Joe with BitRaged. So I want to talk about Bitcoin here. I've seen some comments talking about the long possibility, talking about the short possibility, and I've seen people saying, oh, now it's going parabolic. It's going for the longer term move up. That's possible, but I think we need to see some key things on the lower time frames to confirm that so that we can actually say, okay, now it's going up longer term. We can get in on this move. But as we've seen in the past with Bitcoin, we can have some pretty strong moves up, and it just completely retraces. We've seen this time and time again. So I'll show you what I'm looking for here to build a structure to either go long or a structure that will continue the sell. Very key things to look at here. So here on the daily chart, you can see we've had the move up, we've had momentum. Now we see the impulse. Now we formed an ascending channel, starting to get that move to the downside. So what we can look at to say, okay, is this going long or is it going to continue short, is a correction. So what do I mean? For this to go long and really confirm that, we'd want to see a structure like this, where we have the move up, this move here. So you have the 1, 2, 3. Very similar to, I know a lot of you guys look at Elliott wave, very similar to some concepts in Elliott wave. It's not exact as what we do here. So if you do understand Elliott wave, you may understand what I'm talking about a little more clearer. But essentially the market moves in two phases, the momentum phase and the correction phase. So what we're looking at here is simply to see that correction to then move up on a longer term basis. And you would likely see that on the daily and the 4-hour chart. This will be a bigger correction because this is quite a distance, right? So if we look on the 4-hour, you can see that's just an ascending channel. At this stage, we don't have a lot to confirm that this will go long. Until we build a clear structure, we don't have the confirmation to say, okay, this is moving up longer term. All we have is a 4-hour candle momentum to the upside. That's basically all we have to base this off of. But you can see we've had the momentum, and then what happened directly after it? Ascending channel, right? So momentum up, correction. So I know some are in the sell, and some in the community are in the sell. So what we can look at here, there were some great opportunities for the sell here. You can see here we've had the move down, correction, move down, correction, move down. We're forming another correction now. So here on the 1-hour, you can see it's just slightly descending. That doesn't mean that this is going to just pop to the upside. What it does mean is we give this a little bit of time, we may get a structure like this, and then we just continue to sell that. Just continue with the momentum to the downside. The one thing I would keep in mind with this is I would have a line here because, like I said, either here or down in this area. If you want price targets, we're looking at about 4,600 and right around 4,800. It's not exact. You're looking for structure at this stage. So in this area, if we start to see this move down, start to reject, move back up, then we can start to look for this structure here to confirm the move up. Alternatively, if this does move down and then reject and move to the upside, we could get a clear 4-hour or even 1-hour correction like this, where this would move to the upside without having to come back down for a third time. So you would still have this kind of structure, right? But it would just complete a little bit sooner, and that would still be the 1, 2, 3 in that wave structure. So that's what I would be looking for. Simply give this some time, give it time to develop so you can see a clear structure. There is nothing here yet to confirm that this will move up longer term. It's possible that we do build that, but it's just not here yet. So until we get that, I would continue to look for sell setups. So if we've had the ascending channel starting to move down, look for some clear sell setups. One thing that is worth mentioning here is if we get to this area here and then we form a correction right here, this area here is less probable to play out than this area here. So why is that? because we're here at the low. When we're at the low of any kind of pattern like this, an ascending channel, we're at the high of a descending channel, that kind of thing, you want to be a little bit more careful with flags, because while it is possible this moves down, creates this structure here, and then just drops, what can often happen is you'll have a move down, it creates that structure, it moves down, breaks this low, completely retraces, and starts its move up. So keep that in mind. That happens a lot. So with a structure here, be a little bit more cautious. If we do get a clear correction here, like this, feel free to take that. That would be a nice play even down to this area here. And then it could break and go a lot lower. So if this doesn't give us the correction here and this starts to break back to the downside, a couple areas I'd be aware of would really be this area here at about 3,100 and this area here right about 3,300. So right about 3,000 to 3,300, I'd be aware of those areas there where we could potentially reject and create a bigger structure. So I think at this time, Bitcoin is simply forming a bigger structure. Either it's going to form that daily correction and go long, or it's going to move back to the downside and we'll get some sort of different structure here that we can look for either buys or sells. So just give Bitcoin a little bit of time to play out. If you see a clear correction, feel free to take that short. If you are at the low and it does move down to that area, be a little bit more cautious, because like I said, we could move into that bigger structure. If this, let's say, just impulses to the upside, there's nothing you can do about that. There's no way to predict that happening from that area. So if that does happen, you start to see some impulses to the upside. Again, simply wait for that clear daily correction. We will get it before taking it long. You can see here, this is on the weekly chart. You can see we had that correction. We had the move up, the correction before it went, super parabolic, whatever the case may be. We get those corrections all the time. So it's very unlikely this will just move back to, let's say, 10,000 without a clear confirmation signal. So don't be too worried about that. Don't feel like you have to jump in on it just because we had a little bit of momentum. Give it some time to develop and watch for those confirmation signals. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you sticking with us. Take care now.